Okay, these are the remaining problems on your quiz. Factoring to find the zeros. When we find the zeros, we have to factor the trinomial. What we're looking for is a value of x that, when substituted into the expression x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So to find the zeros, we have to factor the trinomial. So factors of x squared plus 3x plus 2 will factor this as a product of two binomials and set it equal to 0. X times x is x squared. Factors of 2, there's only one pair of factors for 2, and that's 1 and 2. 2 is positive, and the middle term is positive, so both factors will be positive. So x plus 1 times x plus 2 equals x squared plus 3x plus 2. Now to find the zeros, we set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. X plus 1 equals 0, x equals negative 1. X plus 2 equals 0, x equals negative 2. So my zeros are x is equal to negative 1 or x is equal to negative 2. Substitute either one of those two into the original expression and you'll get 0. Number 12, x squared minus x minus 12. Again, I want to factor this as a product of two binomials. So x times x is x squared. I have a negative 12, so one factor is going to be positive and the other negative. So what are factors of 12 whose difference is negative 1? Well, 4 and 3. And 4 will be negative because my middle term is negative. The sign of the larger factor or number will always be the sign of the middle term. So negative 4, positive 3. I set each factor equal to 0 and solve. X plus 3 equals 0, x equals negative 3. X minus 4 equals 0, x equals 4. So my two zeros are x is equal to negative 3 or x is equal to 4. Substitute those into either of those two expressions and you'll get 0. Number 13, a trinomial which I'll factor as a product of two binomials. I'll set those equal to 0. 2x squared. Well, 2x times x gives me x squared. And then I have 1. Only one pair of factors for 1, and that's 1 and 1. My middle term is positive, so both factors, or both numbers, will be positive. So those are my two factors there. I'll set them each equal to 0. 2x plus 1 equals 0. 2x equals negative 1. X equals negative 1/2. X plus 1 equals 0. X equals negative 1. So those are my zeros. X is equal to negative 1/2 or x is equal to negative 1. Substitute those into either one of those expressions and you'll get 0. Number 14, 2x squared minus x minus 1. Okay. What are my two binomial factors? Well, let's find them. So 2x squared is 2x times x. Only one pair of factors for 1. That's 1 and 1. Okay. Here, I notice I'll have a positive and a negative number. Now, where does that positive or negative go? Well, let's see here. The middle term is negative. So when I FOIL the outside term, 2x times 1, that will give me 2x. And then the inside terms, 1 times x, will give me 1x. I want the larger product to be negative since my middle term here is negative. So that means this will be negative 1 since 2x times a negative 1 gives me negative 2x. And then if I add 1 times x, which is x, I get a negative x. So I set each factor equal to 0 and I solve. Oops. 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. 2x equals negative 1. X equals negative 1/2. X minus 1 equals 0. X equals 1. So my two zeros are x is equal to negative 1/2 or x is equal to 1. Number 15, x squared minus 9x is equal to 36. Again, I'm looking for the 0, so I want the right side to be 0, which means I have to subtract 36 from both sides. Remember, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. I want the right side to equal 0. So x squared minus 9x minus 36 equals 0. the two binomial factors for x squared minus 9x minus 36. Well, let's see here. X times x is x squared. I have a negative 36, so one factor is going to be positive and the other one negative. And factors of 36 whose difference is 9. Well, that's going to be 12 and 3. And 12 will be the negative number. 12 is a larger number. It will be negative. That sign says so. Negative 9x. And then 3 will be positive. Positive 3 plus a negative 12 gives me a negative 9. So there. My two zeros are, if you solve for x, for the first factor, you get x is equal to negative 3, and x minus 12 equals 0. X is equal to 12. So there are my two zeros. X is equal to negative 3, and x is equal to 12. And then the last one, number 16. Okay, again, x squared minus x is equal to 20. I want, come back here. I want the right side 0, so I have to subtract 20. And that will give me x squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. So the two binomial factors, let's go find them. X times x is x squared. Okay, I have a negative 20, so one number is going to be positive and the other negative. Factors of 20 whose difference is a 1. Okay, and it will be a negative 1. So that would be 5 and 4, and 5 will be negative because my middle term sign here is negative. Remember, the sign of the larger number can be determined by the sign of that second term. So negative 5 and positive 4. So those are my two factors. Set them equal to 0 and solve. You'll get your zeros. And then x minus 5 equals 0. X equals 5. So my two zeros are x is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to 5.